Hi, I'm Joe Miller. I'm a yoga teacher and the anatomy teacher for YogaRenew. This is the second class in the series of yoga for a strong and flexible spine. And in this class, we'll just do kind of a short and fairly simple warm-up for the spine. So we'll start off seated, and you can come into a comfortable seated position. If you'd rather sit on your shins, that's fine as well, but just making sure that you can sit comfortably upright. And you just take a few moments to kind of settle into your seat, to feel the weight of your body pressing your two sitting bones down into whatever it is you're sitting on, the sensation of length of your spine, your head rising upward. I'm sitting on a blanket because it makes it a little bit easier for me to sit upright. So if you feel like you at all struggle with being able to sit comfortably upright, you could try the same thing. The higher you elevate the hips, generally the easier and more comfortable it is to sit on the floor. So after you've kind of settled into your seat, you can begin to observe your breathing. It's not necessary to breathe in any particular way. Just a simple natural breath is fine, so no particular technique. But just observe your breathing and try to keep your breathing kind of steady and even, and noticing if there's any places where you might be perhaps interrupting the flow of your breath, and try to keep the breath moving as much as you can. And then to start with, you can bring the palms together over the heart and just feel the connection of the right hand and the left hand, and feel the pressure of one hand into the other, and try to match the pressure as much as possible. You can hook your thumbs into your sternum, that's your breastbone, and if you feel in any way that you're kind of sinking your chest, I kind of have a tendency to do that sometimes. If you feel like you are, just use your thumbs to just gently give yourself a little bit of an upward lift through the chest. And then you can interlace your fingers and start to invert your palms and press them upwards towards the ceiling. And take a couple of breaths here. Reach down through your sitting bones as you press up through the palms. And then bend your elbows and bring the hands to the back of your head. So you're cradling the back of your head. And we'll do a little bit of a seated cat-cow sequence here. So as you inhale, you begin to arch your spine, lift your chest, you can look up, let your head just rest back into the support of your hands so that your neck feels kind of well supported. And then as you exhale, you'll round your spine, looking down into your lap, and as you do that, you can fold the elbows toward each other. So a few times like this, inhaling, arch the spine, let the elbows widen as you look up, and then exhale and round the spine as you look down into your lap. Try to really feel that you can let your whole spine participate in this movement. So it's not just your neck and your head that's moving, but you feel your pelvis moving as well, that you're rolling forward and backward over your sitting bones, and you're allowing kind of the rest of the spine to respond in a way that feels like kind of all of the different parts of your spine can join in and participate in this movement. All right, and then with your next inhale, we'll just pause here. It's in an upright spine. And you can keep your left hand behind your head, bring your right hand to the floor out to your right, and then lean into your right hand. So you're taking a side bend now towards your right. If you notice that your left sitting bone is lifted, just give yourself a little more weight into your left sitting bone by pressing your right hand into the floor, and see if you can shift a little bit of pressure over to the left sitting bone. And then as you inhale, we'll add a little twist into this, looking up towards the ceiling, and then as you exhale, you can let your spine round, folding your left elbow towards your right wrist. Inhale, you turn the chest open toward the ceiling, looking up under the left elbow, and then exhale and fold to look down, and one more time like this. Inhaling and exhaling. And we're kind of concentrating the twist really primarily here in the spine of the upper back, the spine of the rib cage. Pause with the chest open towards the ceiling. Extend the left arm, so get a little more length through your left side. You can continue to look up underneath the left armpit toward the ceiling. And then as you inhale, come back to the ceiling with the arms. And as you exhale, bring the palms together in front of your heart. Again, interlace your fingers, but now switch the interlacing. So you've got the other thumb on top, And then invert your palms and press them upwards towards the ceiling. And again, just take a few breaths here, creating some length between your sitting bones and your ears, and continuing that reach all the way up through the knuckles of your fingers. And then as you exhale, just bend the elbows, cradle the back of your head. Inhale, cow spine, looking up, and then exhale, cat. And a few more breaths like this, inhaling and exhaling. I don't know exactly how many we did on the first side. Doesn't really matter. We'll just do a few here. Trying to just notice if there's any kind of difference with the fingers interlaced in this way. And then after your next inhale, just find an upright spine. Keep your right hand behind your head. Take your left hand out to the floor, out to your left. A little side bend towards your left. Turn to look up under the right elbow. And as you exhale, you can fold the right elbow down, just looking in the direction of your left wrist. Inhale and open up. And twice more like this. So again, just feeling how you can really kind of move the vertebra in your upper back, kind of between the shoulder blades, up towards the base of your neck. And then the next time you open up toward the ceiling, pause there. Extend the right arm. Take a little deeper side bend over towards your left, continuing to anchor your left sitting bone into the floor. And then inhale and reach the arms up toward the ceiling. And then as you exhale, just bring the hands back behind you and lean back a little bit so that you can switch the crossing of your legs. So you're putting the other leg in front. And then again, join the palms together over your heart. Gently create a little bit of lift through the sternum if you feel like you're collapsing down. Let's go back to the first interlacing of the fingers. And as you inhale, press the palms up. Exhale, cradle the back of your head. Inhale, let the spine arch as you look up, and then exhale, cat spine. 2 more times like this. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And then inhale up to just what feels like neutral. As you exhale, let's side bend left. Inhale, turn to look up under the right elbow, and then exhale and fold the right elbow down. Twice more like this. Inhale and exhale. And that kind of place in the upper back between the shoulder blades is a place where often we get a little bit stuck. So finding some movement there. Then lengthen the right arm, deepening the side bend. Inhale, come back up to vertical, and exhale your hands to prayer. And then switch the interlacing, so it's the non-habitual interlacing. Inhale and press up. Exhale, you'll bend the elbows and cradle the back of your head. And then inhale, arch the spine to look up, and exhale and round cat spine. Again, inhale and exhale. One more time. Again, let the whole spine participate. Exhaling, you roll backwards on the sitting bones as you look down. And then inhale to vertical. And as you exhale, we'll take a side bend over towards the right side. Inhale, look up under the left elbow. Exhale, fold the left elbow down. 2 more times like this. You might notice the way that your shoulder blades move on your back. The next time you open up towards the ceiling, pause there, and then just lengthen the left arm a little more deeply into the side bend. And then inhale, come upright with the arms, and exhale and bring your hands down. And now let's come onto all fours, to your hands and your knees, setting yourself up with your wrists under your shoulders, your knees under your hips. And we'll continue with these cat-cow movements of the spine just a few times, following the rhythm of your breath. So inhaling as you're moving into cow, arching the back, and then exhaling to cat as you look back between your thighs. Again, inhale and exhale. And then just come into what feels like a neutral spine. Walk your hands forward about 1 hand span further forward. And then as you exhale, you'll start to move back towards child's pose. Inhale, you can again come forward to all fours. And exhale and press back towards child's pose. And again, inhale and come forward, landing the shoulders on top of the wrists. And exhale back into child's pose. And then we'll pause here, interlace your fingers behind your back, and you can start to, as much as you can, lift the arms away from the back. It doesn't matter if your elbows straighten or not. And if you find you're having a hard time clasping the fingers, you can always use a strap and hold the strap with the hands so that the hands are a little bit wider apart. See if you can widen across your chest here by sliding the shoulder blades in a little bit towards the spine and rolling your biceps out. And then as you inhale, you'll come upright, release your hands, bring your fingertips to the floor, and then pressing into your shins, lift your hips, let your spine arch. You can look up towards the ceiling if that's comfortable for you, or keep the chin towards the chest. And then as you exhale, lower the hips back towards the heels. And then we'll fold forward again, slide your hands out as far as they'll go. And then as you inhale, we'll again come forward. And if it's comfortable for you, you can even begin to move into a little bit of a cobra pose, letting the back arch. And then exhaling, pushing back towards child's pose. Again, inhaling and coming forward. And if it's comfortable for you to let the chest lift a little bit, you can do that. Exhaling and pushing back. One more time, come forward. And now as you exhale, you can start to lower down to the floor. So bringing your belly down, your chest, and then your face. And then as you inhale, just curl up into a small cobra. For a moment, see if you can lift your hands away from the floor, so don't need to be up any higher than that. Exhale, place the hands down, push back into child's pose. And then as you inhale, interlace the fingers behind the back, but switch the interlacing. As you exhale, let the hands lift away from your back just as much as they can easily. And then inhale, you'll rise upright. As you exhale, release your fingertips to the floor. Inhale, pressing through the shins, lift the hips, lift your chest, and exhale, lower your hips back down. And then again, you'll slide the hands forward. Inhale, come forward out into onto all fours. And this time, just tuck your toes and push back towards child's pose. You can begin with your knees bent. So you might find with your knees bent, this will enable you to lengthen your sitting bones up away from the pressure of your hands into the floor to find perhaps a little bit more length through your spine. And then you can just start to lengthen through the right leg, pressing the right heel toward the floor. Rebend the right knee, refine the length through the spine. Lengthen through the left leg just as much as it can easily. Again, rebend, lengthening through the spine. And then see if you can begin to elongate through the legs. Inhale, you'll move forward out into a plank position. As you exhale, lower your knees to the floor. And then just pushing back towards child's pose. Inhale again, come forward. And then step your right foot forward between your hands. Let your chest lift as you sink your hips forward. And then as you exhale, you can start to draw the hips back, perhaps lengthening through the right leg. You might find if you walk your right foot a little bit further forward, it'll help you to lengthen the leg a little more. We'll do that twice more. So as the hips come forward, letting your chest lift, and exhaling as the hips come back, letting the right leg lengthen. And then inhale and come forward. And as you exhale, you'll just step back into downward facing dog. And then lowering the knees down, back to child's pose. Coming forward and step your left foot forward. Again, letting the chest lift as you sink the hips forward. And then as you exhale, drawing the hips back. You can kind of heel toe the left foot forward a little more so that as you draw back, you're just kind of letting the hips sink back, but not dropping all the way down to your right heel. 2 more times like this. And one more time. And then we'll press back once again to downward facing dog. Lower your knees to the floor. Drop back into child's pose. And taking a couple of breaths here to just let your pelvis sink, your head rest into the floor, and your spine be drawn into length between your pelvis and your head. And then from there you can roll up to sit. All right. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.